Today, we want to get you a look at Delhi's notorious Superbrat culture, and it was on full display this week at a South Delhi pub where the sons of a politician and a liquor baron unleashed violence over just a minor altercation. You can see CCTV images on the right of your screen over there of that brawl that took place outside the pub in Vasantkunj in Delhi. It's one of Delhi's most posh districts. You can see men beating up each other just outside the gates. Shivaru joins us for more on the story from our newsroom. Shiv, you know, we've seen and heard about this in Delhi often enough. Here it is in all its ugliness.
Absolutely, in all its ugliness, and these are the first pictures of the main accused, Parth Wadia, who is the son of a liquor baron, Pierre. These are the first pictures, and those two pictures that you see of him, along with two others who were earlier arrested, Shivam Gupta and Kabir Sheikh, who were earlier arrested and friends of his, are actually from the KR pub itself. These are pictures from the KR pub. It's not, it is not known whether this was on the night that the brawl actually took place. The CCTV pictures on the right hand side depict you know, the actual brawl, but clearly these are people who visited that particular place pretty often. At least the photographs suggest so. They used to go there in a pretty large group in big cars. Parth Wadia had two cars that he used to frequent. The information that we've been getting suggests he had a Bentley and a Porsche. We'll be putting out a video in just a short while from now, you know, showing Parth Wadia showing off in his Bentley, driving it way above the permissible speed limits, you know, on the freeways just outside the national capital. But these particular pictures of these three young men in the pub, you know, are probably from the same night, if not a couple of nights earlier. But what we can also you know, say is there's a huge amount of impunity that's on full display here, because pictures, videos have been posted well after this pub brawl actually took place. There's a brazenness in these photographs, you know, whether they happened before or after that particular incident, like I said, is not known at this stage. But what we do know is that at least the man on your screen in the sunglasses, Parth Wadia, who is the main accused, the man accused of instigating and actually starting this entire violent brawl, had been absconding earlier. He was picked up. He has now appeared in court. He's applied for anticipatory bail. In just a couple of hours from now, that anticipatory bail hearing will happen. In fact, our correspondent Jaskirat Singh Bawa has been in touch with the lawyer of those persons, and the police apparently has been saying that Parth Wadia and several of the others, including a person called Ranvijay Lochav, who is apparently still at large, have simply not been cooperating with the police.
In fact, we're going to go to Jaskirat in just a minute, but before we do that, Shiv, do we have any idea at the moment of what started this? Because to call on a gang like that, you know, I'm assuming it would take a bit of time, and there would have been something that led up to it.
Well, you know, it's one word against the other. The pub security say that, you know, there was a group that was misbehaving. They were asked not to. There was also a sort of, you know, some kind of altercation over the timing in this particular pub, the KR pub in Gurgaon. These people arrived with personal security, armed personal security. It was almost a bit like a private army. There were 16 to 17 people who got involved in this. There were injuries all around. There were several people who got injured, including pub security. These were men who obviously saw nothing in unleashing physical harm on others inside this pub. These were, of course, these were licensed personal security guards, but they had absolutely, the police say they had absolutely no right to do what they did. The good thing is that all of their faces have been captured on CCTV video, as you can see in these pictures, as well as those exclusive still photographs that we've been able to access of these men at that pub itself, whether or not it was on the same day. But the scary part is they saw absolutely nothing in doing this. We've seen this in the past as well, Pierre, where, you know, very, very small altercations at pubs have led to all-out brawls. We've seen it happen, you know, at bars and pubs in five-star hotels across the board. You know, there was an altercation about a couple of years ago involving Manu Sharma, the man who murdered Jessica Lal. He was a convict. He was out on bail, and he was involved in a pub brawl. That gives you you know, a really great insight into Superbrat culture, where, you know, unleashing violence of this kind, you know, the dadagiri as it is called, you know, it comes out so easily in a rough city like Delhi, you know, where spiraling violence, you know, escalating a minor situation, a small issue, somebody passes a rough comment can easily, turn into something extremely violent.
Absolutely.
I think it's perhaps a lucky thing that nobody lost their lives, because remember, several of these personal security guards were fully armed.
Shiv, stay with us. Jaskirat Singh Bawa, who we talked about just a minute ago, has been speaking to the lawyers in particular. Jaskirat, what can you tell us about what the lawyers are saying about these two men who instigated this violence? Oh, we seem to have lost our connection there to Jaskirat, but Shiv, coming back to you on this story, we were talking about how these personal security guards may be armed, and therefore this could have been much worse. Is there any talk about, or at least from their side, from the boys' side, the men's side, we should say, about what happened? Because as you said earlier, there might have been an issue with the timings. What are the boys' lawyers saying? Well,
the boys' lawyers are saying that the pub security actually misbehaved with them. They were not at fault at all, and it was obviously. I mean, you can well construct or imagine what the boys' lawyers are saying. They're saying that they were not the ones who started it. It was the pub security which actually misbehaved with them, spoke roughly with them, and threw the first punch, is what they are actually saying. The pub security are obviously saying something completely different. They're saying that these people misbehaved. They're the ones who started it. They're the ones who threw the first punch. After which, the personal security came in and started throwing punches with immunity, which is when this entire brawl actually went completely, completely out of control. And it's actually miraculous that the injuries were only minor and nothing much more untoward actually happened. The thing right now is Parth Wadia is out on interim bail. His lawyers defending him, and who will be at that anticipatory bail hearing, say that he does not need to be arrested for any further questioning. They say that he can be any questions can be put through the lawyer. He does not need to be there in person, and his arrest is not required at this time. But Pierre, the pictures on your screen, the pictures that we've been able to access as well, which depict their presence at that bar on a different day from what actually happened, make it pretty clear that this was a situation that was completely out of control. It could have easily been a much more lethal situation, if things hadn't been brought under control by the police. Obviously, the impunity with which the violence suddenly started points to just how easily, both sides resorted to violence in this situation. Yeah. The police say that Parth Wadia has simply not cooperated. He fled after the incident, as did some of his friends. Remember, the other main accused, there are two main accused. Let's remember, only one of them, the person in the red checked shirt, Parth Wadia, right. People know where he is and he will be in court today. But Ranvijay Lochav is the second person. Right. We don't have a picture of him. We're trying to get a picture of him so we can put that out as well. He is still at large, Pierre. Right. Let's remember, he is still at large. So if any of this group of boys is suggesting that they're cooperating fully with the police, that appears to be nonsense, at least as far as the police is concerned for this time.